Take a look at these streets for a second. Archaeology tells us this is what London really looked like before 1666, before the skyline, before the stone, before the greatness. A city built almost entirely from wood, packed so tightly it felt like the buildings were breathing on each other. At this very spot, over 13,000 houses stood shoulder to shoulder, a single giant tinderbox waiting for one careless spark. And the terrifying part is, London didn't need fire to start dying. Before the flames ever arrived, the city was already fighting something it couldn't see. Because here's the truth: 17th century paintings aren't just pictures, they're frozen frames of a lost film. And today, we're going to unfreeze them. We're going to move through this city as if we're really there, watching the River Thames as it truly was. Never still, never silent, a living artery pulsing with trade. And then, later, with fear, my AI collaborator has run simulations across us: lighting, smoke, heat, haze, and physical effects to rebuild the Great Fire of London in its most devastating form. So let me ask you, do you want to learn history from a distance, or see it with your own eyes, through artificial intelligence? Come with me. We're going in. Stay right here beside me, on this wooden boat. Don't rush. Just look ahead. See those sails? We're floating in the spring of 1665, right in the middle of the busiest highway on the planet. The Thames isn't just water, it's London's bloodstream. Thousands of ships crowd together from distant ports and colonies, pushing in with spices, silks, timber, tobacco, wealth so constant it feels endless. You can hear it everywhere: dock workers shouting, merchants bargaining, ropes creaking, barrels rolling, gulls circling overhead like they know this river feeds the world. This is the heartbeat of an empire rising fast and feeling unstoppable. Now step with me onto the shore. Watch your footing. Mud, waste, and cobblestones make the ground slick. The streets are impossibly narrow, like the city was built to trap you inside it. Look up. Those tall Tudor timber houses lean outward, each upper floor jutting over the one beneath, so the street becomes a tunnel of wood above your head. The spring sunlight struggles to reach the ground. It slips through in thin streaks, barely touching the grime below. Everything feels cramped, loud, alive, like London is a coiled spring holding the pressure of 500,000 people. And there, through the haze, look toward the horizon. Do you see that massive silhouette with razor-sharp spires? That's the old St. Paul's Cathedral. I know you're expecting the famous dome of modern London, but it doesn't exist yet. What you're seeing is a proud Gothic giant that has stood for over 6 centuries, watching kings rise and fall, watching the city grow fat with money and ambition. In this moment, London feels unbreakable, too rich, too busy, too alive to ever collapse. But look closer. In the dark corners of these narrow alleys, behind the noise, behind the trade, behind the confidence, something invisible is already moving. Stay with me. Feel the air shift. The laughter and chatter that filled these streets just a moment ago begins to thin out, replaced by a strange tension. A silence that doesn't feel peaceful. A silence that feels like warning. Now the season turns, and the golden spring light gives way to the suffocating heat of summer. 1665. The city doesn't just get warmer, it gets heavier. The air thickens with stench rising from open sewage channels. The same cramped streets that once pulsed with life now feel like traps. And somewhere in these wooden tunnels, The silent killer begins knocking on doors, one by one. Follow me, but be careful. Don't touch anything. In plague time London, touch is danger. Look at the streets. Weeks ago they were packed. Now they're eerily empty, like the city is holding its breath. You stop in front of a dark wooden house. Do you see that bright red cross painted on the door? And the crude words beneath it, Lord have mercy upon us. When that door is nailed shut from the outside, it's not just quarantine, it's a sentence. Everyone inside is sealed away with the disease, waiting, hoping, and most of the time, failing to survive. Listen closely. No merchant calls, no cartwheels, no children, only the tapping of guards' staffs as they patrol, and sometimes the muffled crying behind shuttered windows. From the mist, a figure appears, a plague doctor, long beaked mask, dark glass eyes, the beak stuffed with herbs, because people believe the sickness travels through bad air, through miasma. In the dim light, they don't look like healers. They look like messengers of death. Week by week, the numbers climb, hundreds and thousands. Bodies pile up faster than the city can bury them. And the Thames still flows, but something has changed. Ships hesitate. Trade slows. The docks grow quieter. London, this proud center of power, shrinks under an invisible terror. It's like the city is becoming its own grave. And yet, even this isn't the end, because as death carts creak through the streets and fear sinks into the wood of every doorway, another threat is approaching, hotter, brighter, and unstoppable. A single spark, deep in the darkness, ignites inside a bakery on Pudding Lane, and in that moment, London's nightmare changes shape